After completing my schooling from St. Mary's Academy, Meerut, I joined the National Defence Academy and graduated from there in 1970. And I got commissioned into the Indian Artillery from the Indian Military Academy in June 1971. Straight away after getting commission, we were sent for our young officers course in the School of Artillery at Devlali, Maharashtra. And the course was scheduled to be for 6 months. However, because of the war clouds hanging over the Bangladesh, our VIOS, that is the young officers course, was cut short, and we were sent to our units, which was 223 Medium Regiment, which was operationally deployed, all set for war with Pakistan on the western border. The unit was located in a place called the Hossainiwala sector. The Hossainiwala sector is correlated with the Firozpur sector. Ahead of Firozpur, across the Satluj River, there is a small enclave which has the Bhagat Singh ki Samadhi, which is a part of the Indian territory jutting into Pakistan. So that is the place where we were supposed to get op deployed. And when I reached the railway station to join the unit, I was straight away whisked away by two of the soldiers right bang on the international border, because I was nominated to be the OP, that is the observation post officer. We were positioned right on the southern bank of Satluj, and I had to climb a tower which was at least anything between 70 to 100 meters, a steel tower. So these two guys, these soldiers, straight away took me to the tower, and there was a space on top of the tower which was hardly about 6 feet by 6 feet. And we were then looking across the Satluj into Pakistan in what we call as the Hossainiwala sector. The two soldiers who were with me, one was an operator who was operating the radio set, and the other person was the technical assistant who would work out the various technical parameters if you were required to engage the target. So there I was, and while I was there for about 2 hours, these two boys were so enthusiastic. They explained me each and every post which was across into Pakistan and its relevance. And therefore, I was most excited that I am now, for the first time, sitting right across and looking into Pakistan. And in the meantime, over the telephone, my adjutant, who was about 10-12 kilometers behind, along with the guns, was talking to me. My battery commander, who was similarly located at the gun position, was talking to me and telling me that at any time the war may start and you may have to take on these targets, so understand everything very thoroughly. So I was very keen and, as I said, very excited. And after that session ended, suddenly I found, and I started looking for my luggage. To my surprise, my luggage had been whisked away by those two boys who had come to receive me at the station. And later on, I discovered there were two officers dressed as soldiers. So they were trying to make a fool of me. Anyway, coming down the tower for lunch was one experience, because the tower had no banisters, it just had steps and it was open from all sides. And coming down, you can imagine 70 meters from that tower and reaching down below was quite an experience. So after lunch, I was again made to go up, and I was again made to feel that any time the war may start. In the meantime, I saw the defenses around. There were infantry battalions, mainly one of the Punjab battalions was deployed, whose aim was to guard the Satluj Bridge. And we were overlooking the Satluj Bridge. In the evening, after everything was over, I was invited for dinner to the officers' mess of the Punjab battalion located there. That was 14 Punjab. And I was introduced to the commanding officer, who was very young, who must have been not more than 35 at that time. Of course, I was about 20 and a half. And then over the evening, they gave me a couple of drinks. So I said, no, I don't want to drink. They said, no, you must have. And they said, we don't have whiskey, so you have to have beer. So I was made to drink 2 bottles of beer. And I thought most probably I'll be sleeping down below. But immediately after the dinner, I was told, please go back. At any time, the war may start. So I went up in the middle, at around 11ish at night, in the darkness, and step by step, I climbed up that tower again, which was the real scary thing. And little did I know, the whole prank was so well planned that in the middle of the night, because of the beer, there was no other way but to come down for the call of nature. And the 2 soldiers who were sleeping along with me on top were very smug. I think they were part of the ploy. So I came down again step by step, very cautiously. And the moment I stepped on Mother Earth, out of the blue, suddenly I heard the sound of a Sardar with his rifle saying, "Tham kaun aata hai?" I was really shocked. So he says, "Hands up." So I raised my hand. He says, "Password." I had no clue about the password. And remember, we were operationally deployed. And if you don't know the password, God help you. So he almost put the bayonet inside me. And since I did not know the password, he called his other guys. And they said, "Who's this guy? We have never seen him before." Because I had just come in the afternoon, whisked up, brought down, and then went back again. And I really tell you, I don't want to go any further, that for the purpose I was coming down would have in any case happened in the pants. But anyway, I started telling this guy, listen, I have been here for some time, in Punjabi only I was speaking. But he was not ready to listen. He said, if you don't know the password when we are almost going into battle, how can you be here? Then suddenly one of the guys, one of the soldiers who had seen me during the daytime go up, recognized me and he says, nahi, ye saab hain, saab aaj hi aaye hain. And luckily I was let off. So I spent a couple of days on that tower up there without any clothes. And all the time, of course, the interesting part was that we were getting prepared for war and understanding each and every nitty-gritty of which are the targets which will be engaged during the war. And but I was miserable because I did not have any clothes. And then after the 3rd day, I was taken back to the gun location, which was 12 kilometers back. And there, those 2 guys who had imposed as soldiers, both as officers, had a hearty laugh at me. And that day I was dined in by the regiment. So it was a great experience to meet all the officers of the regiment who were all there, because the gun position is where all the officers stay. Only the observation post officers go right in front. And during the dining in, of course, I was made to be totally sozzled. And that night, I remember that I thought the world is coming down, because I was so sozzled, I didn't have a clue where exactly I was. And in the morning, fortunately, they didn't ask me to come for PT, because as it is, I was not in a position. And that is where I fought the war. Well, that is the first experience. Then, once I settled down in the regiment, we were at the gun position. The gun position consisted of all the guns being in the bunker, all the troops, their trenches were dug around the gun position for protection against an attack. As also we had live-in bunkers for ourselves with overhead protection. So we literally were spending our life inside the bunker, underground. And regular patrolling used to take place to make sure that no Pakistani raiding party comes in and attacks the gun position. I, being a second lieutenant, I was made to understand the nitty-gritties of the way we would function during the war, and we carried on with the routine. I had a lieutenant on top of me, Lieutenant Shibber, and between both of us, we shared the running of the battery. The battery means it has got 6 guns, and therefore both of us were responsible for making sure that if required, we have to open fire immediately across into Pakistan with our guns. And the guns were capable of firing up to 30 kilometers. Then on one day I was called back about half a kilometer to 1 kilometer back, where the regimental headquarters was there. That is the overall in charge, where the CO and the adjutant functioned. CO called me and told me that, son, you have to take some documents to the divisional headquarters, which was located about 30-40 kilometers behind. So I started somewhere around 5-ish in the evening, and while I was on my way to a place called Faridkot, short of that, suddenly we saw the skies lit up. This was on 3rd January 1971. And all across there were sirens, and you could hear the Pakistani planes coming, and which we saw while we were on the road. So we quickly got onto the side, and the aircraft flew over us, and we heard some bombardment to our left and right. And suddenly I saw that the entire population which was on the road, because it was turning dark, was very careful, and they switched off all their lights. And even if by mistake, because it had become dark while I was still progressing, they would shout at us and tell us, please switch off your lights. They were so scared of the Pakistan Air Force. After having reached my location where I was supposed to go, I delivered the documents and immediately started back. By that time, the road from Faridkot to Firozpur was absolutely dark, and there were hordes of people coming from Firozpur who had left their homes and now they were going towards deeper inside the Indian territory. And there were balgadis, there were tractors, there were cycles, rickshaws, cars, and of course I was going across the traffic. And since it was so dark, you were scared of meeting with an accident because nobody had their lights on. So at times you would switch on the light, your own light, and all the entire people from right and left will shout at you that being Fauji's, you are switching on the light. So in any case, we just wanted to see a glimpse and then switch it off. So we saw the exodus of Firozpur coming towards the inner side of Punjab. On reaching my gun position, I met the CO, and he was sitting at the command post, and he met me very nicely, and he said, "Okay, son, now you go to your gun position." So from there, I started walking towards my gun position, which was another 500-700 yards ahead. And there was booming across. The guns were firing from across, from Pakistan, from this side. And people were in their trenches while I was going. And there's the Firozpur fort in between. So I had to cross the Firozpur fort to go to my gun position. And while I was walking, I could see the entire lot of troops properly deployed in their trenches, following the instructions correctly, because the Pakistan guns were firing, as well as the Air Force was also active. So I kept going towards my gun position, and I thought that my gun position is being bombarded because all the sound was coming there. And after having reached the end of the Firozpur fort, I peeped very slowly across the wall, and to my surprise, it was our own guns which were firing and not the Pakistani. So it was a big laugh. I laughed to myself in a big manner that, my God, I thought the Pakistanis are firing and here it is my own guns which are firing. So I reached the gun positions, I joined them. It was a very, very momentous occasion as we fired one round after another as a battery into Pakistan in the general area of Kasur and Husainiwala. And I was made to give the orders for the firing, which was a very exhilarating feeling to give the order fire to the guns, and then they'll all press the triggers of the guns and the shells will go off. This became a daily routine, and I stayed there for almost, during the battle of Husainiwala, for almost about 10 days. There used to be Pakistani guns firing, but somehow we were lucky. They were never able to locate us properly and get our gun position. Similarly, the Air Force, at times I found, went overhead, but our jets were also coming in between. They used to have a few dogfights, but they never were able to drop a bomb exactly on a gun position. Most of the time they were all over the place. It was a big surprise for me that on 10 December 71, suddenly I was ordered to move out in the middle of the war because we were going to receive new rocket launcher system called the Grad BM-21. I was feeling bad that I was leaving the battlefield, but all the same, I also was feeling happy that I was going to get into a most sophisticated weapon system, that is the Grad BM-21. So I was dined out from the battle zone in the adjutant's command post, and the CO gave me the privilege to make all the 3 batteries fire simultaneously into Pakistan. And I was giving the orders on the radio sets for the 3 batteries to fire simultaneously, which was again a big thrill for a youngster like me. From there I moved on to Devlali, and on the way it was most exhilarating to see at every station a lot of girls coming and tying you rakhi, and the amount of sweets they were giving you. In the darkness they will come, and so many other people came and cheered you up. You really felt, especially in Punjab, that the people as a nation, we are one.